Sup, my name is Ray for the TheYugiohCouncil. Welcome to Coffee Time. Now, normally this would be out on Monday. I waited because I was so exhausted yesterday. I was jet lagged. My apologies for not having out on time on a Monday, but I didn't want to half-ass the video because it would have sucked to half-ass this video. This is one that I am dying to get out to you guys because it's one topic that has been on my mind for a good month. But I was waiting for the confirmation of these cards to come off the ban list inside their gold series so Konami can make more money because they like money, and we could have cards that we could talk about for days. And that is, what cards would you guys like to see errated from the ban list and inevitably return? Now, we've seen this trend with Ring of Destruction, Crush Card Virus, Sinister Serpent, Temple of the Kings, and supposedly Makiura is going to get a errata. Chaos Emperor Dragon has gotten errata, and Dark Magician and Chaos have all gotten erratas. Now, 3 of those are not inside the TCG yet, so when they do come to the TCG, and they will, give it time, then most likely they'll come off the ban list. But for now, we've only received so many Ring of Destruction and all that. And Ring of Destruction is proven to be great, in all honesty. It's still powerful, but I think it's okay at 1. It's like Torrential Tribute. You know, it's just going to be a little taking time to get used to. And it's pretty balanced, but it breaks locks, and it's great. So, what I want you guys to do in the comment section right off the bat is tell me exactly what cards you want back with the erratas. You know, just come up with a little description. Be creative. Don't feel anyone's going to, like, attack you for it. This is only, like, just, you know, thinking about it. No one's right, no one's wrong kind of thing. Let's do it that way. And what do you think about the cards that have come back and their erratas, like Ring of Destruction? I think Ring of Destruction, honestly, is the best out of all of them. And it's during the opponent's turn only, and you can only target one face-up monster that the opponent controls, so you can't do it on your turn. You can't target your own monster, and you have to take the damage first. So basically, if you play Ring of Defense, neither player is going to take the damage, and all it becomes is a smash and ground. So it's kind of one of those things. And if their light points are not higher or equal to that monster, then you're not going to be able to play Ring of Destruction. So I think it was a great balance. And then we go on Crush card, which still has a tribute to 1 dark, but then it has a dark matter effect, which instead of being 3 turns, it's only going to be that 1 turn, and they could choose 3 monsters with 1,500 more attack in their deck and send it to the graveyard. And by doing so, I've seen the video from Asian Eyes again, Divine, where 3 rules were dropped, and that was hilarious, but in most cases that's not going to happen. Some decks will be able to utilize this. They don't give a shit about sending 3, but again, this is one of those cards that's just going to break things up, and I think it's okay. It's not as great as it used to be, so that's definitely something. Sinister Serpent, you can read its effect there on your screen. You can only use it once per turn. And during your standby phase, it discards in your graveyard. Add to also banish 1 Sinister Serpent from your graveyard during your opponent's next end phase. So that kind of sucks. It's a way to get around it, but it's still a pain in the ass. So 1 Sinister Serpent just being eliminated is not going to do anything to the game state. And then we go on to the Big Daddy Chaos Emperor Dragon, which we haven't gotten the errata for yet, but once we do, I'll comment it. I have the link if anyone needs it for Chaos Emperor Dragon's errata effect. And getting ahead of myself. So now that I've gave you examples of cards I have gotten erratas, and Dark Magician of Chaos doesn't get the spell card to the end phase, and basically it can only be once per turn, so it's a lot more balanced. I think these are all great balances, but it comes down to what would we like to see in the future get balanced. And for that, I've accumulated the following cards. Alright, so I'm going to start it off like this. I'm going to take a card. I'm going to give you basically ways that it could be balanced, and then just go from there, and then we'll see what people think. Try Infecting Virus. I think it's okay to come back as is, but I know a lot of people were like, Mermills. I think what needs to be changed is that no effects other than Tribe Affecting Virus can be activated during the turn that Tribe Affecting Virus is. Just add that line of text on, he's perfectly balanced, and just add on the ruling, if it's, I think it's already there, that you discard 1 card from your hand, you declare 1 type of monster, and you destroy it. Basically, that 1 declare type monster is the only monster you're going to be able, like, I declare Warrior, and I discard a card, then I can only destroy Warriors, I won't be able to destroy anything else. And that will even out Tribe Infecting Virus right there and there, and with the added line, no card can be activated following Tribe Infecting Virus's effect. Meaning that Mermels would not be able to utilize Tribe Infecting Virus as they've been theoried to do so if Tribe Infecting Virus was to come off the ban list, say tomorrow, or the next ban list. That would keep Tribe Infecting Virus in check, and allow Mermels to not have to abuse the crap out of it to the point that, hey, we got to reban it because it's breaking Mermels. I mean, Mermels already are good enough, but you understand what I mean. It would just be another title situation. That or just a once per duel effect. If it was a once per duel effect, it'd be like Glow Up Bulb, where you can only use it the one time, and that be that. So that's one of the things that I had on my mind. The next one I want to talk about is brain control, which oddly enough, I know I'm going to get flagged for saying this. People are going to hate me. Basically, the effect stands now pay 100 life points and target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of that to the end phase. If it was changed with an errata, it should follow after all that text. It should follow the monster cannot be used for synchro summon or tributed. Now, some people are going to go, but Ryu, you could just use it for Exceed. Yeah, it kind of balances out for just Exceed. And the monster cannot attack. So you're forced to use it for an Exceed if you're going to do anything with it. You're not going to be able to utilize that card. I mean, I still think it's a pain in the ass to errata. I kind of want to say no Exceed, but then what are you going to do? You're going to fusion summon with it? So it's like, the only deck that would be able to utilize that is Shadows. In all honesty, Shadows and Heroes. Outside of those two, they wouldn't be able to utilize Brain Control. So Brain Control is kind of a hard one to errata, if you were to errata it. I mean, the rest of these, I already have pretty much spot-on ideas how to errata them perfectly, but Brain Control is the one I just, no pun intended, kind of scratch my brain and go, I don't know exactly how to, what would be the best way to approach this, because it just seems like every card that takes your opponent's monster outside of Mind Control is just broken. And that's just the nicest way to say it. It really is. Now, let's move on to Harpies Feather Duster, which I know some of you are going to just hate me for. I think it's fair enough to say this with Harpy Feather Duster and Heavy Storm. The game, and I know I'm not the only one, the game has seen more players during formats where Heavy Storm is legal, Cold Wave's legal, Giant Trinity, all that kind of stuff. But we're only focusing on these two cards, and I'm going to explain why in a second. I think if Konami was to bring one of these back, it should be with Errata. I'm going to start with Harpies Feather Duster for Errata first. Right now, all it says, and OCG does have this, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. That's it. That's OCG as well. If it was to receive an errata, this card cannot be searched out by Hysteric Sign. Just put it in there. So that way Harpies can't abuse the crap out of it. Let's start with that. The next one is this card cannot be used during main phase 1, which you'll have to go to main phase 2, you'll have to summon a monster, you'll have to battle, you'll have to go through all that just to get to main phase 2 to play this card. So if you're going through all that to play that one card, it wouldn't be an issue no more. Now I know some of you are probably screaming at your screen, that's still not balance. It is, because A, you can't break your own pendulums with it. B, you don't have to worry about, getting the back rail away during main phase 1, so it's not an OTK enabler. The only other way I could see, if you're going to balance one of these two, is do the Soul Charger thing, where you could play it during main phase 1, but you can't activate it, you can't have your battle phase. It has to be one of the two, so people can have the best of both worlds. And that's what I was saying with Heavy Storm, but Heavy Storm's a little bit trickier, because it just destroys all spells and traps on the field. I think the only way to really utilize Heavy Storm in that aspect is that A, no battle phase. B, cannot destroy your pendulum zones. It could be your spells and traps, but not your pendulum zones. If it has that part where it says not your pendulum zones, it cannot be utilized to use it for Cleaforts or any deck that wants to get rid of their scales to reuse again, like Ignites. Just as a theory. But it also would have to have the added on effect, either main phase 2 or no battle phase. I think that's the only way that we're going to get an even balance between the players agreeing with each other instead of disagreeing and saying, no, Heavy Storm's bad for the game, or no, Heavy Storm's good for the game, or Harpies Feather Dust, or Giant Trinity, or Cold Wave. Whatever the case may be, it needs to be balanced out like that. I think Cold Wave, honestly, just left alone where the hell it is and let it rot. But I think everyone's understanding my point of view here when I talk about these two cards on how to errata them and just get them in a direction that works for everyone. But I'm going to stop talking about them because I know people are going to hate me for it. Let's talk about Cyberjar. The current effect is huge. I'm not going to lie, it's fucking huge. Destroy all monsters on the field when it's flipped. The both player reveal the top 5 cards of their decks, and special summon all revealed level 4 or lower monsters in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. Also, any of the remaining cards added to their hand. If either player has less than 5 cards in their deck, reveal as many as possible. So, I think for this, some things have to be cleared up in the text, number one, just to make it a little bit shorter, or just fill it out more. just like even out the spacing. I think the other thing it would have to be is that only the monsters are added to the hand. They are not special to the field. Or if they are special to the field, then you cannot conduct the rest of your battle phase with Cyberjar. Meaning player A, who's either flipping Cyberjar and getting ready to attack to set up an OTK, cannot do it. Or B, player B, who attacked into Cyberjar, cannot plus off the Cyberjar. On top of that, the cards that are not monsters should remain in the deck, and the deck should be reshuffled. That way it keeps it balanced, so you get a little more speed. And I think that would be the only way to really balance Cyberjar, because Cyberjar plus gadgets is still nasty as fuck. I think that goes without saying. You could also add in the text there that no other monster effect can be chained to Cyberjar, or after Cyberjar. I think after would work a lot better just for that scenario. But moving on, we're going to talk about the most beloved card of Ryu's, the tree, the Fiber Jar. This is actually an easy one. For those who don't know, each player shuffles all cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into the deck and then draws 5 cards. This is a very, very easy card to errata. Just slap on the bottom. This effect can only be used once per duel, and then also slap on the player who activated this effect cannot conduct their next battle phase. This prevents it from being an OTK enabler, and this prevents it from being massively spam fucking. I think that's going to be the only way Fiberjar is actually going to see balance. I know some people will disagree with me on that, but I think that's the only, like, hypothetically, if we're talking about it coming off the list, that's the only way it's going to just be evened out to an extent. You're not going to get completely ironed out to the point that it's going to be 100% balanced, but if you want it off the list, that's pretty much the only way it's going to happen. So then you could have it back at 3, and you could only really play the 1, you only utilize the 1. This next one is also a favorite of mine that should be off the list with this errata, but I shake my head every time Konami doesn't do it. Bryonac Dragon of the Ice Barrier. You can discard any number of cards from your hand to the graveyard, and then target the same number of cards on the field and return those targets to the hand. Originally, you would think that you can only do it one time per turn. You can constantly do it. Here's all you need. Once per turn, you could discard 1 card from your hand and then target 1 card on the field and return those targets to the hand or extra deck. That way, Mermels can use it like a title, and that way it's only once per turn. It's not a huge threat, and if people still see it as a threat, you could slap on the only once per duel effect. So that way, it's pretty much a little bit better than Vulcan the Divine, but at the same time, it's just not going to be as stupid as it is now, where it causes 3,000 loops and then breaks the fucking game left and right. I do love this card because it got a lot of threats out of the way, but it needs that once per turn effect or that once per game effect. Alright, I got 2 more and I'm done talking with erratas, and this is one of the biggest ones I wanted to talk about for the longest time. Is Destiny Hero Disc Commander. Again, this is also another easy fix. Let's read its current effect and let's talk about what Ryu would do to it. When this card is special summoned from the graveyard, draw 2 cards. Every time it's summoned, you're going to end up getting 2 cards, right? Let's slap on the once per duel effect. That way, it's a pot of greed when it's special summoned. But let's add on one more thing. The player who draws the 2 cards cannot conduct their battle phase. Fair enough. If it needs another one, if you want to bring back cards safe return, just add on the no card can be activated after this monster's effect or to this monster's effect. There you go. It keeps it balanced, and things like Effect Veller are going to just nullify the crap out of it anyway. So with that once per duel effect, it'll be evened out to the point that you would never have to worry about Disc Commander being broken again, and you wouldn't have to worry about Disc Commander Turbo, or Perfect Circle Monarchs, or just whatever the case may be. That way he comes off the ban list. He can be utilized with heroes if they wanted to use him. Mass Change a second, discard him, bring him back, draw 2. You can't play nothing else. Monster effect wise, or just the once per turn effect. The once per duel effect, set some back row, say go, activate back row, and you can make him into a Dark Law. And then even if you special him again, you wouldn't get it. That would keep him balanced, but Konami has not done that yet, which surprises me. And the last card, this is also an easy one, is Shockmaster. Now, I know some people are instantly going, but Ryu, what the fuck? It's Shockmaster, Shock Lock, bro. I know. And this is an easy effect. Let's read the current effect, though. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Exceed from this card to declare one type of card. monster, spell, or trap. If that type of card, if spell or trap, is trying to be activated, cannot be activated. Or if it's a monster, it cannot activate its effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. Again, easy fix. Only one Shockmaster effect can be applied per turn per duel, and you have to detach 3 Exceed materials. And he can keep to the end of the opponent's battle phase, next turn. That keeps Shockmaster as a mini cold wave, but at the same time doesn't allow him to be uber to your brokenness of just stupidness. This allows Shockmaster to come off the ban list at 1 and eventually make its way to 3 because you can only play the 1. Because if you try playing the other ones, you're not going to be able to use its effect. So it's kind of one of those, why would you give up 3 spaces? Why would you play 3 if you can only use one of the effects? That would allow Shockmaster there to come off the ban list, have interaction with the game without breaking the fucking game. I think everyone can agree with that. If not, let me hear what you have to say about it, and we'll discuss it out in the comments like we do every Monday, because I love you guys. I'm hoping that everyone's enjoying the different content posting every day. I'm trying to spice it up because it's been a lot of deck profiles, and that's fine. I know that's what a lot of you are going to say. It's fine. New format. It's exciting. But I still want to give you everything else I do for this channel. So guide to your side. Keep requesting them. Card versus card will be in production probably this weekend. And then just everything else is secret. It'll be coming up, though, and we'll keep posting it for you guys. There should be an IRL duel video tomorrow as long as I'm able to finish the production tonight on it. Basically, I just have to record the audio for it, and then after the audio is recorded, then it goes into the render machine. And then I put it all together. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Let me know what else you want to, whatever else you think should be errated and how it should be errated. I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Thanks for watching. Peace.